Hello and welcome to International Football News. Thank you for tuning in, and today I'm going to be summing up all of the action from today in the international leagues. So, in the Baku National Stadium in Azerbaijan, the Republic of Ireland beat Azerbaijan 3-0. In the 7th minute, Callum Robinson made it 1-0 to Ireland, and another goal from him in the 39th minute made it 2-0. In the last minute, in the 90th minute, from Chiedozie Ogban, the Republic of Ireland secured their 3-0 victory over Azerbaijan. Over in Lithuania, in the LFF Stadium, Lithuania beat visitors Bulgaria 3-1 in a match. In the 18th minute, Justas Lasiktas made Lithuania go 1-0 up against Bulgaria. In the 64th minute, Kirill Despradov made an equaliser for Bulgaria to have some hope. However, all hopes were shot down by Fedor Kenrich in the 82nd minute to give Lithuania the lead again. And finally, 2 minutes later, Fedor Cernic scored another goal to secure Lithuania's 3-1 victory over Bulgaria. In the Astana Arena, Kazakhstan suffered a 2-0 defeat to Bosnia and Herzegovina. In the 25th minute, Smail Preveljak made it 1-0 to Bosnia early in the first half, and then later in the second half he scored again for Bosnia to secure their 2-0 victory over Kazakhstan. In the Helsinki Olympic Stadium in Finland, Ukraine managed a surprising victory over Finland 2-1 away from home. In the 4th minute, Andriy Yarmolenko scored a goal for Ukraine very, very early on in the beginning of the match to make it 1-0 to Ukraine. However, in the 29th minute, Teemu Pukki, who plays for Norwich City in England, made an equaliser for Finland to make it all square at 1-1. However, just a couple of minutes later, Roman Yaremchuk for Ukraine made sure that Ukraine were back in front with a 2-1 goal. In the Batumi Arena in Georgia suffered a 2-0 loss to Greece. But it came very, very late, as in the 90th minute, Anastasios Basektas scored a goal to make it just about 1-0 to Greece. And 4 minutes later, Dimitrios Pelkas secured that 2-0 victory for Greece. In the Friends Arena, Sweden beat Kosovo 3-0. In the 29th minute, Emil Forsberg made it 1-0 to the Swedes. And in the 67th minute, Alexander Isak scored a thumper to make it 2-0 to the Swedish. And just 15 minutes later, Robin Quaison secured the triple victory over Kosovo. In Hampden Park, Scotland discovered what a football was as they beat Israel 3-2. In the 5th minute, however, it was Israel who went in front thanks to Aaron Zahavi. However, Scotland equalised via Scott McGinn to make it all square at 1-1. However, Israel did not back down, as 2 minutes later, thanks to Munaz de Boer, they were back in front. Scotland, too, were relentless, as in the 55th minute, Lyndon Dykes made it all square again to make it 2-2. And a last-minute winner from Scott McTominay made sure that Scotland actually know what football is now, as they win over Israel. Over in the Faroe Islands at the Tosvola Stadium, the Faroe Islands themselves lost to Austria 2-0. In the 26th minute, Lamus scored it to make it 1-0 to Austria, and in the second half, Sabitzer scored another to make Austria win 2-0. In the Puskas Arena, Hungary suffered a 1-0 defeat to Albania, thanks to Broja in the 79th minute. In the Luxembourg Stadium in Luxembourg too suffered a 1-0 defeat at the hands of Serbia in the 68th minute, thanks to Vlahovic. Over in the Zimbru Stadium in Moldova, Denmark beat Moldova 4-0 away from home. In the 23rd minute, Skov Olsen made it 1-0 to the Dens. In the 34th minute, just 11 minutes later, Denmark were 2-up against the Moldovans. Just 5 minutes later, Norgard made it 3-0 for Denmark over Moldova. And finally, in the 44th minute, Melee made it a secure 4-0 victory for Denmark. In the Warsaw National Stadium, Poland had a comfortable 5-0 victory over San Marino. In the 10th minute, the Swiderski made it 1-0 to Poland already. 10 minutes later, Broly scored an own goal from San Marino to make it 2-0 to the Polish. Half an hour later, in the 50th minute, Kedziori made it a triple for Poland against San Marino. 34 minutes later, in the 84th minute, Buxer made it 4-0 for Poland. And finally, 7 minutes later, to wrap it all up, Piatek made it 5-0 to Poland. In the National Stadium of Andorra, England made a secure 5-0 victory over Andorra. In the 17th minute, Ben Chilwell had already made it 1-0 to England. And not long later, in the 40th minute, thanks to Bukayo Saka, it was 2-0 to England, just in the first half. In the second half, Tammy Abraham wanted a goal, and he did so, as he made it 3-0 to England. 20 minutes later, in the 79th minute, James Ward-Prowse made a goal from long distance, longer than his name, to make it 4-0 to England. And finally, to wrap it all up, Jack Grealish scored a consolation goal for England to make it 5-0. And the final game of today was played in Switzerland, as Northern Ireland suffered a 2-0 defeat at the hands of the Swiss. In the 37th minute, Northern Ireland were down to 10 men as Lewis was sent off thanks to a red card. In the 48th minute, things didn't get much better for Northern Ireland as Zuba scored to make it 1-0 to Switzerland. And it didn't get much better at the hands of the second half as well, as Fasnacht made it 2-0 to Northern Ireland to wrap the game up. And that's it. Thank you for watching channel 725. If you do enjoy this video, please leave a like and comment if you want to see more news rounds of international games. That's all from Robot Hummingbird. Goodbye, guys.